Good Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
And happy noon.
And happy baby feet day.
The sweeties wanted to make a very sweetie appearance. And as you can see, they're real serious about snuggle time right now. Real serious.
They even asked us if we could skip espresso today to snuggle with them.
And then we said, well, we have to hang out with community.
We have a responsibility.
So then they asked if they can come and be Poncho. So here they are, snuggling Poncho.
Anyways,
They're so cute.
this is going to be an amazing episode that I get fired up about.
I wonder if Kelly's going to get fired up while she's on you. Maybe she's going to make a caca.
She's not going to make a caca because I'm going to put her on her bed.
Bookie doesn't even care.
Yeah.
In case you
Now, listen here, folks. Can you move that?
Yep.
All right. I have something in here. We see something.
What you got over there?
I have something. And also.
Erin's making a lab poncho.
Okay. This is the X Endurance Focus. Okay. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sad for you, but this is what needs to happen right now. And
Wow, Mama, I'm looking at it. What is that?
it's my watermelon sugar high.
Is that period?
It's watermelon sugar
Is
high.
that period? Oh, it's nasty.
Ah,
Period nasty.
you guys,
I was just thinking, if somebody's watching us for the very first time, they're like these bunch of delinquents
what are
talking about period, making sounds.
what is happening on here? They're wondering, like, why is, but they can't stop watching. You're
And
like, why can't I stop
And
watching?
you're like, you need to watch this show. And you're like, why did you invite me?
Oh my gosh. Who's had this before? Majestic explosion of watermelon energy. So good. Anyways, today's conversation. Does anybody want to buy that now that I just did that? Like, that was that amazing display of delicious. Because today's conversation is about sales.
Why are we talking about sales though? What's the theme of Wednesdays?
The theme of Wednesdays is
Wealth Wednesdays.
dinero, wealth.
And what does sales have to do with wealth anyway?
If you don't sell, you ain't getting shit. Okay, so some people are like, whoa, that was aggressive. But what people think sales is and what sales really is might not be the same thing. And so I think it's very important that we really understand what it is. And my goal is to just change your perspective so that you understand the importance of this thing called sales. And you also understand that it doesn't need to be a sleazy feeling that you get when you think about sales. So that's my goal.
What is sales?
Let's look up the definition of sell. To sell. to sell. Give or hand over something in exchange for money. Does it seem like there's anything wrong with that to anybody? Actually, I want to know in the comments, like, who, when they hear the word sales, is like, oh my God, no.
Cringing.
It's okay if that's you, like totally, I would expect most people to be in that boat.
Selling, the action of persuading or influencing another to a course of action or the acceptance of something.
Say it again. I want to break down the pieces of it.
Selling, the action of persuading or influencing another to a course of action or to the acceptance of something.
Okay, I'm going to keep this. I only see a couple responses. Okay, here we go. Me, best products sell themselves. We'll talk about that, Olivia. I am but willing to try. I get a little anxious. I sell add-on options each day with my dog grooming. That's great. It's intimidating to me, but I notice when I'm excited about the product, it just comes naturally. Okay. So there's nearly 50 people watching and like 6 responses. Okay, which will tell me by default, probably most people get a little weird. Maybe not scared, maybe not uncomfortable, but like the thing about sales is that we live in an economic world. And if nobody sold anything to anybody, life would be completely stale. There'd be no transacting happening. There'd be nothing. If you go and you want to buy a watch and you go to Amazon.com, I've got a Prime account. Somebody sold you that Prime account. Just saying. You go to Amazon and you're like, I want to get a watch. And you type in watch and it's like, none for sale. You're like, what? If nobody sold anything, we would all be severely disappointed. Now, I think where people have a hard time with sales is when somebody's trying to sell something that the other person doesn't need just to get $1. Or trying to sell something to somebody that really isn't going to benefit them, but is going to benefit the receiver of the money alone. It's a one-way transaction, a single-sided benefit. But when every party wins, then we're helping, right? And now, oftentimes we need things we don't know that we need. If I've called you and we've had a conversation and then determined that you need to enroll in one of the programs or services that we offer, I had to sell that to you. Maybe you didn't even know that you needed it. Now I would like to see in the comments if anybody is mad or upset or frustrated or sad that I sold them into a program. If you're in the raw, are you mad that we sold you into the raw transformation? Products don't sell themselves. Reputations help sell a product, but somebody still has to be there to make a transaction. Somebody still has to put the post or the listing online or something to make that transaction possible. But the reputation can do a great deal. Okay, let's see this. This is so good. Jamie, mad AF. Sure. Were you mad? 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 Steaming mad. Brittany, I did. I just straight up said you have to do this. Why? Because I see an opportunity Look at this. I am so sorry, and I take full responsibility. I didn't call you and sell you sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like when you're selling something that's beneficial to somebody and you choose to not sell because you're afraid of selling, you are the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a second. If we have this best kept secret called the inner circle and we didn't tell anybody about it, how much now are we like restricting people from getting to really where they could be, to losing the weight, to reaching their full potential, to body freedom, to gaining confidence, to like, if we don't share this, we are the ones disservicing.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
If we have products that have changed our lives, that have given us energy back, that have given us time back, that make us sleep better, that help us to recover faster, that make our joints stop hurting, and we don't share it with somebody else, you're the asshole. I was being really dramatic, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Sarit,
yeah.
What's been your experience with selling?
This is good.
By the way, like I was scared of it at one point too. I was like, oh, I have to do that.
So here's the thing. In any job that I had a sales related job. However, it's what society fails to do is that society fails to accept sales for what it is, right? So like jobs that I had in the past while either doing coaching or pre-coaching, when I was a waitress or a bartender, what do? I'm selling food and drinks. That's selling. When I worked at Lululemon, I was selling clothes. In that company, they don't call it salespeople, they call it educators. Now,
you're salespeople.
Fact finding and education is a part of sales, but it's the word sales makes people think, because people are uneducated about sales. There's a lot of mechanics and art, and any of you guys who are in the 10X Accelerator program or in our team, like, we study Cardone U, and like, there is so much that goes into sales because people are uneducated. They take a single-handed experience with a salesperson that they had. Waiters and waitresses, bartenders, they're not considered to be salespeople.
But they are.
But, in this society, only like when, like the word salesperson, real estate agent, what are you? You're a high-ticket salesperson. Coach, what are you? You're a salesperson.
Yeah. You can't coach, you can't actually service somebody. You can't actually help somebody. You can't actually move somebody to be in a better position than where they are now until they are sold, until there is a transaction. And a sale doesn't have to be monetary. You can be selling them into an idea. You can be selling them into what you believe, Mormons. Sales
They're
people,
selling
door
an
to
idea.
door salespeople, door to door salespeople, not selling you a tangible object. They're just selling you a religion. They're still selling. But until you sell somebody, you don't have an opportunity to help them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be sold first. You have to be sold on the idea of the inner circle is going to be able to help you. You have to be sold enough you're willing to exchange monetary resources for the service that's going to help you improve your life. So until somebody is sold, you don't get to help them.
So going back to your question, because most people are uneducated about what sales is all about, and because the stigma that sales had, because most people who do sales, unfortunately, are not studying sales courses. So, they're just thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about servicing. And that is the big disconnect. So when somebody hears the word salesperson, they're like, it's going to be like a mean person who never takes care of themselves, who all they want to do is your money and whatever. Money is just a form of energy. And, most people are just unaware about the fact that we're all salespeople. Whether it's in our job, whether it's in our household, whether it's wherever, like if you've got an idea, a product or a service to share, then you're a salesperson. Now, whatever it is that you believe is what you end up achieving. So, like if you say that you're bad at sales, that you suck at sales, the first thing that I will tell you to do is watch yourself, because you've already manifested that into reality, and we can always reverse that. So now let's go to my experience, right? So I've been in sales, knowing what I know now about sales, like bartending, waitering, retail, whatnot.
Personal training.
Yeah. Like I've been in sales, but because I didn't study sales, I wasn't even aware.
And you're not as effective.
Of what my role was. And I wasn't effective. However, like I would say I sucked at sales. I still think that I have a lot of room to grow. But I'm aware of the mechanics of sales. I'm aware of my language. I'm aware of what the, conversation about sales is. And, just like anything else in life is, it's like, for one, if you're not aware of what you are, if a football player thinks that he's a basketball player, then
not going to be effective.
You're not going to be effective, because you're going to try to, do a swoosh to the whatever thing is on the football field. The thing that you kick
the field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to try to swoosh into the field goal. Not very effective. The same is with whatever role it is when the person is unaware that their job is to sell.
Can I say something to that point?
Yeah.
Because you said, if you're not aware of what you are, you'll be ineffective at it.
Right.
Everybody is a salesperson.
Yes.
Think about, we've talked about before, but we haven't gone into detail. I love this conversation just because the word sales is such a sticky subject, but it's like, man, I just want to change your perspective, because until you sell somebody something, you can't help them. You got to sell them an idea or a product or a service or a something in exchange for something, belief, agreement. You can't help them. There can be no benefit on either end, and a mutually beneficial outcome is the best sale. And that's the only thing that we do. And so, if you think about it, as like every single person is a salesperson. If you're not selling, you're being sold. In any discussion that goes beyond surface level, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Okay. There's no discussion of anything beyond the surface. But if you're a debate is a sales contest. Mm-hmm. Who's going to believe who? Who's going to buy into whose idea or belief? Mm-hmm. When you go on a date, you want to get somebody to go on a date with you. You've got to sell them you. Mm-hmm. You've got to sell yourself. This is why I'm awesome. This is why you should spend your time with me. This is why, whatever. You got to sell yourself. And then to marry them, it's like, what? You have to persuade or influence another to a course of action, marrying you, or to the acceptance of something. You're the best person for me, for my life partner. That's a sale. Now, sales and closing are two different things. Can you close the deal? Sales is the act of persuading somebody to, what did it say again? I want to memorize this. The action of persuading or influencing another to a course of action or to the acceptance of something. Closing is making the transaction, the exchange itself. Mm-hmm. So until you actually make the exchange, you can't help anybody.
Right.
And like in life, selling is what is going to create the life that you want. You have to sell yourself on yourself sometimes. Ain't that right? And you have to sell yourself to believe that your goals are achievable. And you've got to sell the people in your house or in your environment on supporting you so that you have an easier time losing weight. You have to sell your kids on eating carrots instead of Oreos because you know if you have Oreos in the house, all hell's going to break loose and you're not going to get to your goals. You have to sell your kids when they don't want to do their homework and they'd rather just stay up and play video games. Either you're selling them on getting their homework done or they're selling you on, no, mom, I'm going to play video games. Somebody's selling somebody and somebody's buying it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Selling is a way of life.
Most kids sell their parents because, again, like parents are unaware of what selling is.
And the person who is actually the most sold on their own idea is the person who will sell.
Yep.
The person who is most sold and convinced on what it is that they are selling is going to be the one who sells the other person. Kids are so unreasonable. They are so much more sold, and in their minds, they're like, no, I'm getting this thing. I'm getting it. Or I'm going to throw myself on the ground and I'm going to make a scene. And then you're going to feel bad and you're going to buy this Snickers bar for me.
Yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit about why is sales this taboo topic in society? And there's a couple of reasons. So reason number one, like we said, is lack of education. If you don't understand the mechanics of sales, and if you don't practice it, you can understand it, but if you don't practice it, you're going to have a hard time with it. It's just like somebody can know all of the information about nutrition, but if you're not applying, approaches, then it doesn't matter what you know. It's about how are you applying it, okay? So lack of education and, of course, lack of practice. So that's reason number one. Reason number one is money mindset. You guys, we all have scarcity mindset, and most people are just unaware of it. If you are afraid of sales, it's because you have a scarcity mindset. And the reason why you have a scarcity mindset is because you know that your initiative is to get the money. If you know that your initiative is to save someone's life, then, if they don't do this thing, then you're gonna like give up on them. But if you were so convinced and you know that the purpose of it is to serve and you don't have your own agenda of, I'm going to get this commission, then the energy that goes into the interaction or the conversation is completely different. And people, like especially you guys, like I would say our community is very emotionally in tune. Like you can smell the stink from a mile away, and you can smell the passion from a mile away.
What kind of stink?
The stink where it's like, you know, that somebody's just like, you know, like the typical message, like copy paste that you get on Facebook.
We get Instagram DMs all the time.
Lose 50 pounds in 20 days, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, scroll, right? It's like, because you know that their intention is to get your money.
Or you have a heavy question on what their intention actually is. Mm-hmm. You're like heavily questioning it. Like, why did you send me this?
Yeah. Now, money is an exchange, and I will be transparent with you guys. Like, we want your money too. But to the extent that we know that the value that we're adding to you guys is 10 times greater than whatever it is that we're offering.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to serve you and save you, I do not want your money. If you're not going to show up to the coaching program, then like, I don't want you to join it. However, because I know that what we offer saves people, like legit, like you can feel it. Like you can feel passion versus, you know, like bullshit. And because, which leads me to the next point. The next point with regards to, you know, like why people are so skeptical or, you know, just like agitated by the word sales is because there is a lack of authenticity in this world. Okay. So now when I talk about authenticity, when you're selling someone, you're selling yourself, you're selling a product, and you're selling an organization. And if you don't have full conviction about all three of them, if you're not sold on yourself, if you're not sold on the product that, you know, you're promoting, and if you're not sold on the organization or the company that you're a part of, then guess what? The energy that's going to go into the conversation is going to be sneaky as hell. So like people can smell sneakiness from miles away. And also people lack courage because they think that on day one, look, you cannot be sold on yourself when you're having your first sales conversation. You cannot. However, if you're passionate, people can feel it and you're going to fail your way up. That's okay. Just like in Burn Zone 1, there's no way in hell that you showed up like Erin did. So you don't have that level of confidence. But when you're not sold on yourself, you're not willing to fail up. When you are sold on yourself, you're like, I'm going to go through the trenches. I'm going to do whatever it takes, because you know that what you're offering legit like transforms and saves lives. So you're like, it's worth it. It's worth it getting doors closed on me.
Also, you may have had a bad experience with somebody trying to sell you something and you smelled that stank. So then, you know, it's easy to believe that the next person will be like that. I also would be curious to know if anybody was skeptical from the first sight of Sarit and myself. Was anybody skeptical when we were trying to get you enrolled in something that we do?
Probably.
I just want to see. Like, I'm usually skeptical of things until I have a reason not to be.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the reason not to be skeptical or to let that guard down is because either the person or people or group that I'm talking to has a massive track record of their success with themselves, with other people, a lot of testimonials, social proof, other people saying what an amazing, if you go on Yelp reviews and you see a bunch of people being like, oh my God, terrible, 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 terrible. You're like, ooh, and then that company calls you, you're like, I don't know about this. But if you see that on the reviews, you're like, oh my God, complete over delivery, exceptional service. They got back to me right away. They changed my life. I lost this much weight and my life's never been different. And they gave me back my this and it's so awesome. And then they call you. You're like, ooh, I'm interested. It's different. The skepticism. Let's see, where does it start? Here, I was skeptical at first. I was first with XND, right? Supplement companies, weight loss industry, super bad, like just reputations in a lot of different places. A couple people were not skeptical. Great. That's awesome. Was a lurker, trying to figure it out. What is this all about? Yeah, I didn't know if it was legit. I felt like I had tried so many things. So this isn't, sometimes people are skeptical, not because of you, but because of the uncertainty they have in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Example. How many of you had a hard time doing one of our programs because you weren't sure if you would follow through? Had nothing to do with Sarit or myself. We could take it personally and be like, they didn't sign up because they don't like us or they don't think it's going to work. But oftentimes, most often, it's because they don't believe in themselves or their ability to follow through.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about X Endurance, this is easier to sell than our programs. Y'all know, some of you, like, one of our most popular programs and most effective programs is like $2,000 for 3 months.
The Inner Circle, by the way. In
the weight loss industry, what? How much? But that it's so effective, and there's so many people that will tell you that it's been the greatest thing they ever did. So then you're like, okay, well, maybe it's worth it, but okay, I'm getting off track. Another reason is because of the things that we hear. Sleazy car salesman. Like that phrase, sleazy and sales in the same sentence. No, it's not sales that's sleazy. It's the person. Or just thoughts that you have grown up with about money or your money mindset in general. Because if you think I'm selling something and I know that I'm going to get a monetary reward, a financial reward, that, then money mindset starts creeping in, where it's like, if I'm receiving money from somebody, it must make me greedy. It must make me, whatever your money beliefs are that you grew up with, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never met anybody. I've met people who are like, hey, it's not about the money for me. I really want to help. I'm like, yeah, probably to a degree, but you also can help more when you have more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've never met anybody though who's like, no. I don't need any money. It's fine. If that's you, I'll take it, because money provides the ability to help. Money provides a good life for you and your family. Money provides opportunities. There's so many things. Money can generate a life experience that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have. There's so many things. Adds to the quality of life, allows you to buy the supplements that are going to help you improve the quality of your life, allows you to enroll in programs that are going to help you personally grow and develop yourself, allows you to go to the Tony Robbins event, allows you to, we're in an economic world and money needs to move. You got to give money and receive money. It has to move. And if you're trying to hoard money and keep money, you're going to wonder why you struggle to get more of it. Because if you're afraid to lose it and you just want to hang on to it and stash it all, and you're like, I'm not afraid, afraid to invest, no more is going to come to you. Money has to flow. It has to move. And if it doesn't, if you don't like pay attention to it and do things with it, money, by the way, useless unless spent, then it's going to go find somewhere else to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, and most of the time, the people who are scared to invest, the reason why you're scared to invest is because you don't know how to generate it. When it comes to money, there's three things that you have to, like, that's basically the three pillars of money. Learn how to get it, learn how to keep it, and learn how to multiply. Most people don't have any financial discipline, so they blow their money on shit. So they think that, you know, an investment is the same thing as an expense. It's going to be blown away because they have terrible money habits, terrible money mindset. They don't know how to get it. Therefore, they're limited, right? So there is like no inflow coming in, right? And I mean, no step one, no step two, you're never going to get to step three. Yeah. Is it any wonder why society is so lost? It's because, you know, society has a hard time with tough conversation because we live in a soft society. Like, conversation about money is taboo. Conversations about sales are taboo. Conversations about how to not be a fat ass so you can get off your ass and live your epic life is taboo, right? Like, even like big platforms like Facebook don't allow us to say the truth. When we are recording ads, you guys, there's so many rules that, like,
you can't say this, you can't say that.
We can't, like, and you know, this is me like sharing this with you guys as friends, is because we live in such a soft society right now that we have to take so many like windy roads in order to just try to share our message across, because we'll be offensive. I'm like, the people who need to be in our community need to hear what we have to say the way we have to say it. But this is the kind of society that we live in. And because of these companies that make the rules, we literally, like, we're all little people who are being controlled by the ones who make the rules.
So Patricia made a good point, and she said, it's such a hard mindset to have when you've been taught your whole life to save and not spend. My mom is, you know, told me all the time, save your money, save your money, save your money, save your money, save your money. Now, I agree with this to an extent. Save your money, but for what? Have a purpose in saving it.
Store.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Good distinction. Store versus save. Save means like I'm trying not to use it. Storing it is I've got a place for it until it goes where I want it to go. Storing it to invest it versus saving it to, I don't know what to do with it, just to have it. Mm-hmm. So my mom all the time, save your money, save your money. I'd be running out the door. Mom, I'm going to get a tattoo. Poof. I wouldn't tell her until I literally had to leave the house, and I would just run out the door. Erin, Michelle. And then I'd come back and she'd be like, let me see. But like I had bad money habits at that time, but at the same time, I think that it allowed me to overcome a certain amount of this, like, you're not allowed to spend money, because there's a sweet spot where you want to be responsible, but and frugal is fine, but not scarce. Not like there's a lack of something. You ever gone to the store and you're like, oh, if you buy 20, you get one free. You're like, oh, I need to get one free. I'm going to buy 20. I got to buy 20. Or you're like almost sold out. And you're like, I better get them all. I don't know if they'll be here next week. Scarcity thinking. Something's going to run out. Money's not going to run out. Government keeps printing it. If they can use debt like they've used debt, can you? Just be smart about it. Just make sure that what you're using is for a purpose, is getting you forward in life, is doing something good for you, improving the quality of your life. And there will be some kind of return on that investment, be it monetary or otherwise. I don't know where I was going, but I think that, and you talked about commission.
Mm-hmm.
Not all commission is monetary.
Right.
Not all commission is money.
Right.
I'm so proud of you. You did such a great job today. You gave it your all. I could see it. And I'm so excited for you. And I'm so proud of you.
That's a commission. Also having a badass body is a commission. It's a commission for eating clean for a long ass time. It's a commission for getting your ass up on time so that you can show up for your workout. It's a commission for being consistent with your workouts over a long period of time when, like some days you didn't feel like it. Every reward or byproduct is a commission, a negative commission or a positive commission. Most people are just living unaware. And if you're unaware, most likely you're going to get the negative consequence, a negative body, a negative bank account, bad debt. Not all debts are created equal, right? Codependent relationships, right? And so on and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get a raise at work is a commission for a job well done, is commission for you adding value to the company.
This is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not responsible for yourself, you can never be responsible for your money.
Yeah. Commission happens everywhere in life. And it's like, basically it is the outcome of the actions. You're responsible for your commission, what kind you want. Now, commission often comes in monetary forms.
Mm-hmm.
You're on Team XND, you sell something, you get a commission. You get money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. But while getting that commission, it's double commission. You just helped somebody get involved with something that's going to help improve the quality of their life.
Yeah.
Both parties earn commission for their choice. You closed somebody, you sold and closed on an X Endurance or X Endurance products. They made the choice to exchange monetarily with X Endurance. You both get a positive commission. Like you both get something great.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we not want to do that?
Yeah.
Just have to come to the terms that or you just have to acknowledge that it is selling, accept that that's what is happening, and do it so that we can help people.
Mm-hmm.
The phrase, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm so good at selling, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I would classify myself as a professional. There's amateur salespeople, there's professional salespeople. And professional salespeople, you don't know that they're selling. Now y'all are going to pay attention to me and what I say. She's selling me? Look, I just talk about what I love. And if somebody needs to do it, I'm like, you need to do it. That's how I sell. But anyways, it's the truth. Here's the thing is that, what was I saying?
That you're a professional salesperson.
Oh yeah, but I would never sell ice to an Eskimo because they don't need it. They have all the ice. They're keeping all of it. They made igloos out of ice. They know where to find it. I don't need to sell it to them. Mm-hmm. Sell things to people that people need, and you are doing a good service, a good deed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the Facebook user is. Erin did that with me in the inner circle, and I'm so glad she did. Look, there's sometimes, I'll be honest, there's sometimes I get on the phone with somebody and I'm like, sounds like you're doing awesome. I honestly don't think, I'm like, hey, there's a couple programs that we offer that I think would benefit you. But I don't think that you doesn't sound like you really need them. But if you want to hear about them, I'll always give somebody the opportunity. But, I don't try to sell something to somebody that doesn't need it.
Right.
But if they do, you better believe I'll be up your ass about it.
I remember.
Because that's my obligation.
Yesterday, you got very passionate on the phone with someone. I could hear you from upstairs.
And I sold them.
She's going to save her. She's going
Now,
to be saved.
Because I did that, we have an opportunity to change her life. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was I saying? I mean, I was like, that was a fun one. But, it's like, for one, I love to, I don't get to call the people in our community all the time because I've 19 hats on my head at one time. But when I do, it's so fun just to get to know people and learn about you guys and have conversations. I'm a social person. And so it's really fun for me. But when I start learning about somebody, I'm like, you need to do this. You need to do this. We offer boom, bang, bam. Which one you want to do? You got to do one of them. You got to do something. I know we can help you. So, then we have an opportunity to really help them. I help them take the first step. Then they get to take the next one. And then 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, their life looks completely different than it did. And they're saying, thank you. Thank you for selling me this thing, this product, this program, this service. Thank you for selling me the Joint 4. I have never felt, my joints have never felt better. Thank you. And you're like, oh, I should do this more. It's helping people.
Yeah.
So how do you get the close? What a good question, Teresa. You ask. So many people are afraid to do that part. You have to ask. Do you want to do it? Practice with me. I did this with our whole team. Practice with me. Do you want to do it?
Do you know that I have a call? Okay,
Sarit has a call. Anyways, so look, we can completely talk about, that's a whole nother conversation. But Lauren has a great point. You should invest in Cardone U. It's an amazing learning tool. Some people are not a fan of Grant at first sight, which I understand. But when you really learn about what he is here on this world to do and how he's impacting people, and the content that he has is so helpful, you're like, okay, I can jive with this. And I'll be fully transparent because we're licensees. If you go through us, we can help you get hooked up with the the good quality version of Cardone U. It's $1,500 a year, and it has endless content that you can learn from. And, the things that we say, a lot of this material we get from that, putting it into our own words. So, not everybody's going to want to do that, but if you can, it's such a good asset. It's such a good resource. But anyways, do you want to do Cardone U? If you do, actually send me an email, Erin@erinandsarit.com, and I'll hook you up. It's $1,500 for the year. So we love you guys. Due to other appointments that we have, we must let you go here and have a great rest of your day. Anything else?
No, you really took over, but that's okay.
I sold her on letting me talk more.
Yep, it happens.
All right, you guys. Have an awesome day. Like we always say, if you found value in this or think of somebody who would benefit from it, do them a favor, share it.
Any sleazy salesperson, share it with them. They need to get on Cardone U. Anybody who's got a scarcity mindset and gets freaked out by the word sales, share it with them. Be disruptive, you guys. This is how you create change, by being disruptive, not by being average. All right. I got to run for another call. We hope that you guys have an amazing day. We will catch you on the flip side tomorrow at noon. Bye.
Bye.